Hey guys, welcome to another video of the week, and this week we're going to be repairing the hinges of an HP 17-inch laptop. So what I've got here is a standard 17-inch HP laptop. It's the CA0003NA, that's the model number of this one, and it's got some really stiff hinges. So what's happening is, as over time, opening and closing the laptop, the hinges, which are fixed, metal hinges, which are fixed to the plastic casing by way of these sort of embedded little nuts inside the plastic casing, they've all come away as the hinges have got stiffer and stiffer over time. About 3 years old, I believe this laptop is. So let's have a look. I'm just going to point you down at the laptop so you can see. So what I've done is I've taken off the top part. You can see the hinges there. There's 2 or 3 holes per hinge. I've disconnected the video cable and the Wi-Fi aerial, and I'm just going to show you, flip it over. Let's take this part off. But you can see here all the sort of embedded nuts and stuff which I've got over here. They've all kind of come away, and there's bits of plastic in there because basically the metal hinges are here and here, bolted in to nuts that are embedded in this plastic, and the plastic just basically wears away as the hinges get stiffer and stiffer. So what I'm proposing to do is drill something like a 3mm drill bit here. I'm going to drill a hole through where the hinges go into the plastic, and it's going to come out the other side. So it's going to go through here, it's going to come out little holes here. I'm going to make a very small, I'm going to use a 1 or 2mm drill bit first to make a small hole. Then I can do a little bit of a chamfer. Then I'm going to get some of these through, hopefully 2 of these per hinge at least, and as you can see, these are kind of flat topped screws, so with the chamfer they should be completely flush here. I'm going to try and get 2 on each side, try and bolt them in underneath. Then I'm going to use a hacksaw to hacksaw off the to saw off the excess length, and that should be basically a permanent fix. And the only thing you'll see is a couple of slotted bolt heads on display here. But that will be a permanent fix, last for years and years and years, because you're going from right the way through the whole of the solid piece of plastic to the metal, rather than just sort of inside. So that's the theory. Let's have a look at it now in a bit more detail. Okay, so I hope you can see that. I've just got a piece of wood underneath. I've laid this on here. I'm just going to check which holes are actually required here. So the hinge goes there. So I'm going to need to put a hole here, make a little mark, and here. So they're going to go right the way through the case. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So this one here, this one here. So I've got 4 holes drilled in now, and you can see that they've come through here and here on this side, and they've come through there and there on that side. Neat little tiny holes. I'm going to chamfer them now so that I can put the bolts through. So just chamfer. I'm actually just chamfering them by hand, so I've got complete control over it. And don't forget, I just want to recess them a little bit because I want to get one of these kind of heads in, if you can see that. That's about it. I can always just add, adjust it a bit more. Okay, do the same on the other side. Make these holes a tiny bit bigger. So the holes are in, and I've just pushed the bolt through. I'm now tightening up the nuts. That's the first one. Second one going in. Okay. So this is the hinge side that's really bad. It's absolutely knackered this end. But get this bolt through. Put the nut on. So these nuts and bolts, they are from Robert Dias on the high street, M3 times 25. I'm going to use a hacksaw to sort of cut them down to size if they're there. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is mark them and cut them down to size. And the other thing I'm going to do is a bit of watchmaker's oil, and I'm going to oil these hinges. I'm also going to slacken them off slightly, because you can't even turn these with your fingers, but they've got little bolts on the end, and once you've slackened them off, yeah, that'll protect the hinges a bit more, you know, the case from bobbling when you open up and close the case. It's going to do it so that there's a bit of resistance. Okay, so the hinges are nice and loose, or fairly loose, which will protect that new joint, hopefully. If they're not tight enough, you can just tighten them up afterwards. The case comes off. The case just kind of unsnaps. Well, you can do it while you're using the laptop. It's not really a problem. Okay, so I think we're all done there. All I'm going to do now is I've marked, I don't know if you can see that, I've marked the bolts with a felt tip pen in blue, so I can see exactly where I need to cut these off just before that mark there. That should do it. So I've got 4 cuts to make, and then file them down nicely, and then we can bolt it all back together. Okay, so I've got the first bolt through and the nut on after I've hacksawed it off. I've actually left this one on so that it makes this one easier to get on, because obviously once you've hacksawed it off, you've got a little bit of a rough edge. So now, yeah, got a little bit of a rough edge, but now that's on with the help of, you know, a screwdriver and my pliers. So that first one is on. Going to take this one off and cut it. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so it's all finished. Here we have it, the final product. As you can see, I've slackened off the lid as well, so now you've got a perfectly brilliant mechanism that will last years and years, years and years and years. And just going to put all the screws back in, and that's done. I've booted it up with MT boot, mini tool boot, which I'm going to use to do a check disk of the hard drive, because incidentally this laptop also has a problem with the hard drive sort of clicking, so I'm going to see if I can you know, do a check disk on the disk, maybe save some of the data off. The guy has got a backup of it, so it doesn't really matter, but the main thing is he's now got his 3-year-old 17-inch laptop back and working. And yeah, I suppose you could finish this off with a bit of black paint on these screws to hide, you know, the silver, but to be honest, that's not really a problem. It's all nice and symmetrical, so you know, that should last him a good long while. And if he wants to, the screen is a little bit loose. If he wants to tighten that up, he could, but of course you run the risk of, you know, breaking those over time. Breaking this plastic here. I wouldn't have thought that was possible, but I suppose anything's possible. So we'll leave that up to him. I'll show him how to pull that plastic part off here to expose those 2 screen nuts. You can tighten or slacken this mechanism. Okay, anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you very soon for another video of the week.